everybody. Welcome to today's tour of the museum. This museum is a haven, a place where time seems to slow down, allowing us to fully appreciate the beauty and history that surrounds you. Are you ready for our journey? Wonderful. Let's take our time, enjoy each moment, and let the art and artifacts speak to us in their own quiet, powerful way. Let's begin here, in the gallery where one of my absolute favorite paintings resides. It's called the Whispering Pines, and it captures a serene forest at twilight. Take a moment to look closely. Can you see how the artist captured the play of light as it filters through the trees? The branches seem to sway gently in an invisible breeze, don't they? It's as though the whole scene is alive, yet perfectly still, a moment frozen in time. What do you feel when you gaze upon this painting? Perhaps a sense of calm or a gentle nostalgia for a place you've never been but somehow recognize? The artist used a technique called glazing, where thin layers of paint are applied to create depth and luminosity. This gives the scene a lifelike quality, almost as if the painting itself is breathing. Do you hear the faint rustle of leaves, or the distant call of a night bird? It's amazing how art can evoke such vivid sensory experiences, isn't it? You know, I always find that spending a few moments with this painting helps me reset. It's like taking a deep breath for the mind. I wonder if you feel the same. Come on, let's move on now, but keep that sense of tranquility with you as we explore the next exhibit. Here we have an exquisite artifact from ancient China, a ceramic vase from the early Ming Dynasty. Isn't it beautiful? The way the light reflects off its surface, highlighting the intricate floral patterns, is simply mesmerizing. This vase isn't just a work of art, it's a piece of history, crafted by hands that lived centuries ago. Can you imagine the patience and skill required to create something so delicate? Each flower, each leaf was meticulously hand-painted in cobalt blue, a color that was considered precious at the time. The artists who made these vases were true masters of their craft, dedicating countless hours to perfecting their work. As you look at it, can you sense the calmness and precision that went into every brushstroke? This vase wasn't just a decorative piece, it played a significant role in rituals and ceremonies, symbolizing purity and tranquility. The flowing lines of the design are meant to evoke a sense of peace, much like the gentle movement of water in a serene stream. Does it evoke a sense of calm in you too? It's fascinating to think about how objects like this can carry such profound meanings across time and space. Now, as we continue, I'd like to show you something that's both striking and thought-provoking. Here we are at a stunning Renaissance portrait known as the Lady with the Pearl Earring. Her gaze is so captivating, isn't it? It's as if she's looking right at you, holding a secret that only she knows. What do you think she might be thinking? There's something almost intimate about the way she engages with the viewer. The artist, though anonymous, was clearly a master of light and shadow. Look at how the pearl earring catches the light, drawing your eye to it as if it were the only source of illumination in the painting. The folds of her gown rendered in rich, warm tones, creating a sense of texture so lifelike that you can almost feel the fabric's softness. Her expression is subtle, almost enigmatic. Some say she's on the verge of a smile, while others believe there's a hint of sadness in her eyes. What do you see? That's the beauty of art. It speaks differently to each of us, inviting us to find our own meaning in it. As we linger here a bit longer, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Does this portrait remind you of anyone? Perhaps there's something about her that resonates with you, something familiar yet elusive. It's amazing how a single painting can spark such personal connections, isn't it? Now, let's move on to an exhibit that's steeped in history and mystery. This is an alabaster jar from ancient Egypt, dating back over 3,000 years. Can you believe how well preserved it is? The jar is smooth to the touch, almost luminous, as if it's glowing from within. This piece once held precious oils and perfumes, a luxury reserved for the elite of Egyptian society. Notice the hieroglyphs carved into the surface. Each one tells a story of devotion and reverence. These symbols were carefully etched by skilled artisans, each carrying deep spiritual meaning. Imagine the hands that once held this jar, carefully pouring out its contents during a sacred ceremony. The air would have been filled with the rich scent of oils, mingling with the fragrant smoke of incense. There's something magical about this place, don't you think? It's as if it holds the memories of those long-forgotten ceremonies. I often find myself wondering about the people who used this jar, what their lives were like, what they believed in, and how they experienced the world. Do you ever think about the lives behind the artifacts we see in museums? It adds another layer of depth to the experience, connecting us to the past in a very personal way. As we move on, let's take a moment to appreciate the energy of this place. Can you feel it? The way history seems to linger in the air, like a whisper from the past. Our next exhibit is a breathtaking tapestry woven during the medieval period. It's enormous, spanning almost an entire wall and filled with intricate details that tell the story of an epic battle. The colors, though faded by time, still retain their vibrancy. Can you see the knights clad in armor? Their expressions fierce and determined. You can almost hear the clashing of swords, the thunder of hooves on the battlefield. Yet, despite the intensity of the scene, there's a strange sense of calm that pervades the tapestry, as if the artist wants to convey not just the chaos of war, but the quiet moments that follow. When the dust settles and peace is restored, do you feel that too? It's as if the tapestry is telling us Even in the midst of turmoil, there is always a return to calm. The texture of the fabric is fascinating as well. You can almost feel the roughness of the wool, the slight unevenness where the threads have shifted over centuries. It's a reminder of the hands that wove this masterpiece, working tirelessly to create something that would endure long after their time. What do you think the artist wanted us to take away from this scene? Perhaps a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, or the cycles of conflict and peace that have shaped our history. Let's continue to our next exhibit, shall we? This one is quite different, but equally fascinating. Here we have a remarkable sculpture carved from a single block of marble. It's titled The Sleeping Goddess, and it's truly a marvel of craftsmanship. The artist has managed to capture a sense of serenity and grace, as if the figure is merely resting, lost in a peaceful slumber. Look at the delicate features of her face, the way her hair cascades in soft waves, and the gentle rise and fall of her chest, as if she's breathing. The folds of her gown are so intricately carved that they seem almost weightless, draping naturally over her form. There's a sense of timelessness in this piece, as if she could awaken at any moment. The marble itself is cool and smooth to the touch, with a subtle sheen that catches the light, giving the sculpture an almost ethereal quality. It's easy to see why this piece has captivated visitors for generations. There's something about it that speaks to the soul, a quiet beauty that transcends time. As we stand here, I'm curious, does this sculpture remind you of anyone in your life? Someone who exudes calmness, who seems to carry a serene presence with them wherever they go? It's interesting how art can evoke personal reflections, isn't it? Perhaps that's why we're drawn to certain pieces. They resonate with something within us, something familiar and comforting. Now, let's explore a different part of the museum. A section dedicated to ancient artifacts from various cultures. Here we have a beautifully crafted Greek amphora, a large vessel used for storing wine or oil. The scenes painted on it depict a lively festival with figures dancing and playing music. Can you imagine the celebrations that this amphora once witnessed? The laughter, the music, the clinking of cups as people toasted to good health and fortune. As you look at it, try to picture the vibrant world it once belonged to. The amphora was a central part of daily life in ancient Greece, used not only for practical purposes, but also as a symbol of abundance and prosperity. The figures on the amphora seem to come alive, don't they? You can almost hear the music and feel the joy of the celebration. Next to it, we have a Roman mosaic, painstakingly assembled from tiny pieces of colored stone. The scene is of a grand banquet with guests reclining on couches, enjoying a feast. The detail is incredible, isn't it? Each piece of the mosaic was carefully placed to create a vibrant, lifelike image. Can you picture the grand halls where this mosaic once adorned the floor, echoing with the sounds of conversation and laughter? As we linger here, I wonder, do you enjoy hosting or attending gatherings? There's something timeless about the way people come together to share food, stories, and laughter. This mosaic reminds us that despite the passage of time, some things never change. It's a beautiful connection between past and present, don't you think? Let's explore something a bit more mysterious. A wooden mask from the African collection. This mask was used in ceremonial dances, meant to embody the spirits of ancestors or deities. The detail is remarkable, isn't it? The patterns carved into the wood, the expression on the face, all tell a story of the culture that created it. Masks like this one were often used in rituals that marked important transitions in life: birth, marriage, death. The dancer who wore the mask would become the embodiment of the spirit it represented, connecting the physical and spiritual worlds. Can you imagine the energy of the dance, the rhythm of the drums, and the sense of connection to something greater? As we look at this mask, I wonder, have you ever experienced a moment where you felt connected to something beyond yourself? Perhaps in nature, or during a quiet moment of reflection. It's fascinating how different cultures express these universal experiences, isn't it? We're nearing the end of our tour, but I have a few more pieces to share with you. Let's take a moment to admire this stunning Art Nouveau lamp. This base is made of bronze, and the shade is crafted from stained glass, depicting a delicate pattern of flowers and leaves. When lit, the lamp casts a warm, colorful glow, creating an atmosphere of comfort and elegance. Can you imagine the soft light filling a room? The way it would bring a sense of warmth and peace to the space? The Art Nouveau movement was all about bringing beauty into everyday life. And this lamp is a perfect example of that philosophy. The artists of this period believed that even the most ordinary objects could be transformed into works of art, infusing daily life with a sense of wonder and joy. As we stand here, bathed in the soft glow of the lamp, I can't help but feel a sense of comfort. Do you feel it too? It's amazing how light can change the mood of a space, creating a sense of warmth and intimacy. And finally, let's end our tour with something modern, a striking abstract painting titled Echoes of the Cosmos. The artist uses a mix of vivid colors and dynamic brushstrokes to create a sense of movement and energy, as if the painting itself is alive, pulsating with the rhythm of the universe. As we stand here together, reflecting on all the pieces we've seen, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you the most? Was there a particular piece that spoke to you in a way you didn't expect? It's moments like these that make visiting a museum such a personal and enriching experience. And with that, folks, we've come to the end of our tour. I really hope you've enjoyed this journey through our museum and that you feel a little more at peace, a little more connected to the art and history that surrounds us. Remember, this museum is always here for you, a sanctuary where you can return whenever you need a moment of calm, a space to reflect and rejuvenate. And again, thank you for joining me today. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon.